Hello, welcome. So I'm pretty thrilled to welcome you in the live session. Um, we're gonna get started in a second. So today we're gonna talk about. So today we're gonna talk about how to accelerate your career, how to break into automotive cybersecurity. So I'm gonna share some slides. Okay. This is a bit weird that I have to upload my slides. So this is my first LinkedIn Live. I gotta get a little bit familiar with that. So let me see if I can do that. Yes, it will be recorded. To be quite frank with you, we're recording this, so you will get it. However, I encourage you to be on the live session because I want a lot of interaction in this. So let me add the slides. Okay, so it seems like it works. Seems like it works. Seems like it's working. So without further ado, hello everyone. I want you to keep interacting. Somebody asked if this will be recorded or not. It will be recorded. However, I encourage you to be in the live session because I want a lot of interaction. So you guys can hear me okay, right? This is my first LinkedIn Live. So I'm doing a bit of an experiment. So please say yes or no in the chat. If you can hear me, say yes. I'm assuming that you cannot hear me. Let me double check. Oh, perfectly. Yeah, you can hear me. Amazing. So Muhammad, good to see you. Muhammad, good to see you. So you guys can hear me. So yeah, welcome. Very thrilled to get started. And like I said, I want this to be interactive. Those of you who know me, who has been following me, you know that I like interactive session rather than me delivering a monologue. So this is exactly how it's going to be. It's going to be an interaction. We're going to interact in the whole session that we will be having. So the first thing is breaking into automotive cybersecurity. So in my opinion, there are three target group this whole webinar is for. And all of them, they're not yet into automotive cybersecurity. So those of you who are already in automotive cybersecurity, it's an interesting webinar. You'll definitely get something out of it. But the primary target group who are not yet in automotive cybersecurity, you haven't started your career in automotive cybersecurity. And among them, I have categorized them into three groups. Number one, those of you who are absolute freshers, you just got out of university. And if you just got out of university, you're actually not into anything. You haven't started neither in regular cybersecurity or engineering or anything. So you have a tech background, but you don't have any work experience at all. So absolute freshers. Number two is automotive engineers. Automotive engineers who have been working in the automotive industry for the last, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. And you want to get into automotive cybersecurity. That's the second kind. The third kind is people who are cybersecurity experts but have no automotive background. So these are the primary target group that I'm willing to speak to. Did I miss anyone? So is there anyone here who is not in these three categories? If you are in this category, please say yes. If you're not in this category, please say no. I think there is a bit of a lag with my streaming program and you guys interacting. So please say yes or no in the chat based on if I haven't already addressed you, if you're in one of those groups, say yes, and if you're not, say no. Yes, yes. Yes, number 2. Somebody's number 2. All right, I'm super excited. Let's get into it. So it seems like I haven't missed anyone. Fantastic. So let me tell you a little bit about myself to those who are not familiar with me. Those of you who know me, this is going to be redundant. So what I do is I help companies and individuals with functional safety, automotive cybersecurity, AutoZar, SODIF, A-Spice. These are the kind of things I do for tier ones, OEMs, and also individuals like yourself. I highly encourage you to follow me or get connected to me in LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn QR code. Here you can actually get to my LinkedIn right away. Those of you who are watching outside of LinkedIn, I'm also doing a YouTube streaming. So I encourage you to come and connect with me in LinkedIn. And those of you who are watching in LinkedIn, you can, you don't need this. You can just click on my profile and connect. So please connect with me. So I also host a podcast called Autonomous Vehicle Safety and Security Podcast, where we talk about automotive safety and security in the autonomous vehicle context. We do car hacking and stuff. I have personally trained over 5,000 engineers, professionals. I'm talking about professionals. I'm not counting the students that I've taught during my university time. These are professionals working primarily for European, German OEMs, German tier ones, mostly in functional safety and cybersecurity, automotive cybersecurity. So I'm also the host of the Autonomous Vehicle Safety and Security podcast, as I mentioned. Again, the QR code to connect it to me. Now, let's talk about cyber attack. Let's talk about why automotive cybersecurity. I'm just going to give you a background. I'm just going to highlight how massive of an opportunity this is, and highlight those things. So this is a picture taken from a Hollywood film called Fast and Furious 8. What they do is they take control of 1,000 zombie cars. Zombie means you have injected malware in it, and they take control of this. Because of the autonomous vehicle function, they could make them rain. They could weaponize this vehicle. Now, this is obviously Hollywood fantasy. In 2015, Charlie Miller and al. made this Hollywood fantasy into reality. What happened in 2015 is they could remotely take control of a vehicle, in this case, a Jeep, Chrysler, and that's it. This is theoretically possible. Anyone can weaponize your vehicle. So this became really serious at that point. Then what happened is we have reproduced the same result in our lab, and this is reproducible. So now comes the opportunity. The opportunity is automotive cybersecurity is a 9.7 billion with a B, $9.7 billion industry projected by 2023. And as you can see, this is a report published by McKinsey. As you can see, from 2024 to 25, we're at the steepest steepest curve. The industry is growing the fastest at this point. It's going to continue to grow, but not at this pace. It's a very steep jump. So here's the problem. We do not have enough manpower, expertise manpower to fulfill this gap. And this is where you come in. This is where our training programs and everything come in, because we want you to take advantage of this to accelerate your career. And if we want to divide it in different sections, this is also important, because you want to know in which direction of automotive cybersecurity do you want to go to. So we have software design and development. We have software integration and validation and verification. We have also categorized it, is it ADAS, is it infotainment? So as you can see, software development and design is going to be a major part, and validation is going to be another major part. And here is another way to categorization. What kind of activities that you'll do? Is it like going to be cybersecurity solutions or processes? As you can see, processes take a big chunk of the market. So these are important. Now let's get to it. How to break into automotive cybersecurity. So here's how you can do. You got to make the decision. You got to act right now. And I congratulate all of you who are watching this LinkedIn Live. You have made the first move. And this is a quote there are two quotes from Gary Vaynerchuk. If you know Gary Vaynerchuk, he's talking about ideas are nothing. Execution is the game. I give you the idea, hey, automotive cybersecurity, really steep market. There is a market gap. That's not going to help you. It's all about execution. And it's all about now. So if you do not act now, you will have a regret. The only thing that you regret is things that you don't do. So this is really the first step. So the first step is, take action now. Take action now. So here is a roadmap that I want to present to you, to all of you. Now, do you have any questions so far? How many of you are actually still in here? Can you write me? I want to hear a little bit of your voice. So, do you have any question? It looks like no, you have no questions. So here is what I'm going to give you in a second. Okay, I can see some questions here. No questions, no question. How long does it take? Okay, there is a question. How long does it take? LinkedIn user, I can't see your name. You asked how long does it take to become an average skilled automotive BG. All right, so it depends on your background, actually, where you are. And I'm going to give you a framework today where to start. We have like 3 categories of people, and based on that, I'm going to give you a category. I actually wanted to share screen to draw something, but it looks like I am not able to share my screen. No, it doesn't work. In LinkedIn Live, I'm not able to share my screen. Okay, so the person, I'm going to address this question first to someone who asked, how long does it take to become an average skill automotive? So what's your background? What can you give me some more specific? So how many years of experience? Are you a fresher? In which category do you fall in? See a skill like strong automotive background. Okay, so yeah, it should be relatively quick for you. It also depends how much time are you willing to spend. Your answer will be, your question will be addressed as we get along. So I wanted to share the screen now. Since I cannot share the screen, let me think. How can I? How can I present what I wanted to present? Okay, let me just move on with the slides for now. So I'm gonna take you through the procedure. I'm gonna just first talk about it. So here's the problem. 20 years of automotive, yeah, it's amazing. You're not gonna you're gonna get into it very quickly. So let's talk about it. Now, those of you who has 10, 20 years of experience, what is the barrier to entry? The barrier to entry is simply cybersecurity. You need fundamental cybersecurity knowledge. And really, let me emphasize on the fundamentals one more time. It's all about fundamental. It's all about fundamental. So if you have automotive engineering experience, your barrier to entry is the fundamentals. The second group, who are automotive cybersecurity experts, it's often more difficult for them to enter into automotive cybersecurity, because automotive cybersecurity, you have to understand the automotive backbone, the automotive, how it works. And when I'm talking about automotive cybersecurity, I'll also have to be very precise. I'm talking about the vehicle security. Automotive cybersecurity also includes the infrastructure security, which is the regular cybersecurity. And anybody who is a cybersecurity expert can enter that. But I'm talking about especially the product security, the security of the vehicle inside the car, how to make the car secure. So that's the second barrier for the second group. The third group, the students, they actually have no barrier. They can enter with anything. So this is the framework that I'm going to present to you today. Here we offer a automotive cybersecurity mastery program. The first one is an introduction to automotive cybersecurity. It's a crash course. We get you in speed. So this is good this is a touch point. This is good for the cybersecurity people who have no automotive background, and also for people with automotive engineering, no cybersecurity background. So we also show the cybersecurity basics, some basics here. So this is a good start. A lot of people who did my training 4 years ago, I introduced this crash course 4 years ago. They write to me that they did this training and they straight away got a job, because 4 years ago, to find even someone with a little bit of automotive cybersecurity was very difficult. So they just did this, they started. This can even be a starting point for some of those who has 20 years of experience to enter automotive cybersecurity. But it's not going to be enough. That's why we have this whole mastery program. So this is the fundamental. You do this. Then you come to the, a lot of people will go into the processes. So this is the process, ISO SAE 21434. You got to learn the process. Again, you have to understand the standard. So this is an intensive program we have. And this is about coming to cybersecurity for embedded software architecture. A lot of security happens at the software level. You do a lot of cybersecurity engineering at the system level as well, but at the system level, you cannot fully, yes, thank you, LinkedIn user. So at that level, you cannot fully implement all the cybersecurity measures. It happens at the software level. So we have a very intensive course for cybersecurity for embedded software architecture. So how do you do the architecture? So here you'll learn how to write software level requirement from cybersecurity requirement, how to derive software architecture. So you have a lot of tools, standardized tools that you can put together to implement all those requirements, vehicle level requirements that you will get from your threat and risk assessment that you did in the first training. So these are the two trainings you need. And what I highly recommend, that I see 90 or 95% of the people I meet who are doing automotive cybersecurity today, they have a lack of knowledge on the basic cryptography. Well, you're engineers, you will know how to use cryptography. You don't necessarily need to know how it works. But engineering happens in any engineering concept has three stages of conceptualization. The first thing is what. You know what it is. That's like student, fresher, number one, category number one, freshers. They know what it is. I mean, they will know what Tara is. They will know all these. But they don't have any practical experience, so they don't know they don't have the second level of depth in their knowledge, which is how to do it. You only know how to do it when you come and do it practically. You have real life experience, industry experience. So that's the second one. The third one is a rare quality. Not too many engineers have it. They not only know what to do, they know how to do, and not only how to do, they also know why they do it. So if you go in applied cryptography, you will grow this intuition. And if you want to be a great cybersecurity engineer, it's all about basics. The more fundamental depth you'll have, the better it will be. Question regarding architecture. How important is cybersecurity architecture certification, such as SABSA? Great question. I cannot comment on that particular certification that you have mentioned. Certifications are usually good to show that, yes, you have done something. It has certain market value. But with certification, it's never enough. Certification is never enough. So certification, it has some market value. We must say that. I mean, if you have so that's why all our trainings, you will get two certificates. One is an attendance certificate. Right after attending it, you will get a certificate, and then will be an assessment certificate too. And all these trainings will also be accredited by European Credit Transfer System. So you will, if you at one point want to do, they will have some accreditation. That's why if you want to do masters or anything, you will be able to use these credit points toward getting your masters or whatever, if you want to do it, if that is important for you. But this will be accredited. So yes. Just like the certification there, the SABSA, we also provide certification just because it has some market value. So moving on with the secure coding, this is what every coder will need to understand. They'll need to understand things like buffer overflow. They'll need to understand things like, malware injection. They will need to understand what makes their code vulnerable. Remember, on this side of the game, this side of the spectrum, we're learning the risks, the threats. Now, when you have implemented it, you have taken measures for the threats, but you can introduce vulnerability. It's really now about vulnerability. How much of a vulnerability can you have you introduced? Because you never know about your vulnerability. And these things will change. These things will change because the attackers will create new hacking mechanism. They'll invent new vulnerabilities. There are vulnerabilities like 0-day vulnerabilities and so on. And then finally, we have this penetration testing. Penetration testing is one step toward the deepest step toward vulnerability assessment, because on the right side of the V model, only vulnerability scanning or checking your code is not enough. Now you have to put the hat of an attacker or the bad guy, the hacker, and try to break into your vehicle, into your ECU, into your software to see if there is a vulnerability that you missed out. Because we are human, we will miss out on things. So this will all these things, to come back to your time, all these things you can actually finish in about 3 to 6 months. The first training is a 8 hours training. The second is the cybersecurity training is a 16 hours training. The ISO 21434 is a 24 hours training. Cryptography is a 16 hours training. Secure coding is a 16 hours training. Penetration testing is also 16 hours training, and they can be spread. We offer them on a pretty regular basis, so that you can do it. I think from 3 to 6 months, or even earlier, depending on how much time you're willing to willing to put onto it. So does that answer your question? Any other questions so far? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link. Give me a second. Let me just get the link to our mastery program. And actually, the difficulty that I'm facing, I wanted to give you some more concept, and I'll see how I can do it without sharing my screen. So here's the link to the mastery program. So we have right now a launch offer. The prices are gonna go up significantly, but this launch batches we still have very, very good price. So I recommend you. I highly recommend you to go and take it. It looks like I have my chat went to YouTube. Yes, Solomon. If you have a question, did the LinkedIn user get my link too? Solomon, go ahead and ask your question. Ryan, if you're still in LinkedIn, can you tell me if you got the link? Okay, you didn't get the link in LinkedIn. That is interesting. That is interesting. So let me go to LinkedIn. I'm using one tool for multiple streaming. So apparently it does not. Okay, so looks like I missed out a lot. Milani had a question, so now I can see all your questions. Milani had a question if I have a bundle of offer of all these courses together. It's a good point. We haven't created a bundle, but we will, Milani. Malini, sorry. Malini, we'll create a bundle for you. I think it's a good idea. We don't have yet, right? As of now, you'll have to individually select. And some of you have already taken some of those courses, so that's why I think it's also good that you select individually. How come all the messages are not coming through? So I think I have to individually open the two. I have to individually open. The link works, you said. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, do you have any? I love questions. I'm going to do a lot of Q and A's today. So, if you have questions, any questions regarding cybersecurity, automotive cybersecurity, or your career, please feel free to ask me. I'm having a bit of a tech issue because not all your comments are here. I don't know the YouTubers, the YouTube viewers, if you can see all my, if I can see all yours, because only one YouTube message came in so far. Okay, there's a question from Mohammed Sarang. Could we go to cybersecurity for embedded software without SAE, ISO SAE 2144? I think no, because somehow it acts like an input to cybersecurity for the embedded software. Um, I see your point. However, the training for the cybersecurity for embedded software is designed independent of the ISO 2144. So if you do the first crash course, you will have idea about somewhat um, idea about the ISO 2144 structure. So you will get every fundamentals that you need in the first course. So that's why the first course is the only prerequisite. The other course have no prerequisite. But if you have no software experience, it makes no sense, obviously. If you have software architectural experiences, some software architectural experiences is needed so that you understand that. So, no, not necessarily you have to do the ISO 21. So there is another question from YouTube. I'm getting some YouTube questions too. That's good. So it's working. Can the training cost be set off as a deductible? Yes, yes, you will get a VAT um, invoice and that with that invoice you can actually deduct it. Yes, Sriram, to answer your question, yes, it is deductible. Then we have another question. I have a experience of 5+ years in SOC analyst. So, what job role in automotive cybersecurity would be much suited for switch this domain? So, I think then the obvious answer is ISO 2154. So, you're a process guy, is that right? So, you're more into processes. So I'm assuming you're more into processes, so you would be more of a process expert, also in the automotive cybersecurity field. So what I highly recommend you go for the introductory training and the ISO 2144 training right away. If you have only the as SOC analyst experience, no software or automotive experience, then I think I would also recommend the applied cryptography. But the other trainings, if you don't have automotive software experience, then it'll be not suitable for you. Does that answer your question? Then we have another question from Muhammad Osman. Okay, so not in compliance, but more into security monitoring and tools. Yes, in that case, I think your entry point would be Muhammad Usman. I'm coming back to your question. Let me just continue the first question I started. So in that case, your entry point would be the introductory crash course, and then ISO 2154, and obviously you can also go to the software architecture in that kind of direction, because you have experience with toolings and monitoring, which is a part of you will learn what a intrusion detection system look like in the automotive context. It will be a kind of like a new context for you, but you will get familiar with that. So I would start with definitely the first one, because in the first training there will be a lot of things that you will see. I mean, basic cybersecurity is known to you, but still I recommend you doing that because you will get familiar with the automotive vocabulary. The automotive vocabulary, how is an automotive a vehicle architecture look like? So that's what your entry point is, and then you move on little by little. So now going to Muhammad Usman's question. Are you going to use any software from Tara in your course or just Excel sheet? Great question. If you are using Excel sheet, then you face traceability problem, and how can you handle it? Great question, Muhammad Usman. So actually, in the training, we use neither. No tools, not even Excel. We show you an Excel template in the end. In the training, what you do is you will have we use a exercise tool called Mural, which is actually a tool to give your answers. You learn um, the basic of Tara, then you'll be able to use any tool with a little bit of adjustment with that tool. And we highly recommend you to start with Excel because this is where you learn. You create your own template and all those. We show you a template. Based on that, you can actually start. So that's the answer to your first question. Your second question is yes, in Excel, you have a bit of a traceability problem. Now, the whole Tara is actually like a relational database. So in our Excel template, and also in the exercises that you'll do, you'll have the IDs, that is asset IDs that you connect with the threat IDs and all those. So this is like, to get in your head what's actually happening. If we use a sophisticated tool, like we have an AI-based tool internally at Matrix, if you use that kind of tool, nothing will happen. That's like you will not understand what the background is. That's why we don't use any tool. Now, to answer your second question, that's the kind of like internal Tara traceability, but you have to have traceability with everything, like horizontal and vertical traceability, which is very important in automotive. How do you ensure that? You have to use tools like Rectify, which is like there are many tools out there. We recommend using this kind of tools to ensure traceability, and these are agnostic to Excel or Doors or whatever tool you use. Does that answer your question, Mohammed Usman? I have another question from Shashank from YouTube. Shashank, thank you so much for your question. I'm an electrical and electronics engineer and master students. Can I break into automotive cybersecurity? 100%. 100%. You can definitely break into automotive cybersecurity. And I think among all of us, the students, the freshers, have the best chance because you haven't you haven't you haven't had uh, you haven't had any experience yet in the corporations who do not have any prejudice. So it is the best thing that you start right away in automotive cybersecurity. We plan to launch actually a 9 months boot camp specifically for students, 6 to 9 months boot camp, where you will have European Credit Transfer System accreditation from January. So we're working on that with that program. And all of these in the mastery program that we have for the professionals and also for the freshers, all of these will be included there. What will be included there more is some students will also need the embedded system knowledge, the vehicle architecture knowledge a little more in depth. So that's what we're and automotive processes. These are the three things which is not covered in the mastery program. And we assume that you'll understand the automotive V model, you'll understand the automotive. We talk a little bit about the vehicle network, but don't really go direct that much of a detail on the vehicle network. And you'll have embedded system knowledge. That's what we assume here. Except for if you go just in the process direction, if you do the Tara and you go and be a process engineer, then you don't really need deep technical embedded system knowledge. Does that answer your question, Shashank? All right. So I love questions. So give me more questions. So unfortunately, the things that I wanted to show on the blackboard is simply not working because in the LinkedIn Live, apparently you cannot share screens. So the PowerPoint that I've shown, I have to upload it in my streaming tool. I couldn't do it by sharing screen. Here, actually, I can see your names. Wow. Rajat, you have a question. What role is best suited for BSW developers? Great question. BSW developers are, you have a very comfortable journey. I would say, you definitely should understand this program, the cybersecurity for embedded software architecture. You should definitely go for that. And this is where you will see that a lot of people, there are a lot of BSW activities. Crypto services manager is in the BSW. SecOC is in the BSW. These are all BSW activities, and the secure coding. These two. I think the introductory course is mandatory for everyone. The software architecture and the secure coding is highly recommended for you. And if you want to be really a rock star engineer, go for that light cryptography. If your basics are strong, you're unshakable. Does that answer your question, Rajab? Then I have a question from a couple of questions. Which part or training would you recommend to quality roles? Uh, CM, PRM do not need to know the very details since we do not produce content rather than manage, evaluate, categorize, communicate. Example, in 2022, I did CS stakeholder RQ together with the CS team to see what OEM was missing out, etc. Well, in your offered courses, I do not see the requirement analysis so far. As with all analysis, the criteria is crucial for required cybersecurity knowledge. The question is that the training seems mostly hands-on engineering and developers, which is fine. However, less managerial or quality role. Great question, Max. So, Max, the idea is um, what I would recommend you is definitely the introductory training, then the ISO SA 2144 training. And in the cybersecurity for embedded software act, if you look at the curriculum, there's a part where we show how to write cybersecurity requirements for software. So what's missing here in this whole boxes is a system engineering, system requirement of cybersecurity. Because the vehicle level requirement, which is called the cybersecurity goals, you'll learn um, uh, using Tara. We don't go into the detail, but that's the piece of the puzzle that is missing. We offer it to our corporate clients, but it hasn't been. I haven't seen much of a demand for that. That's why it is not yet public, but that's also there. But I highly recommend you to start with the ISO 2144 and also the software architecture training because you learn a lot of requirement writing part here. Does that answer your question, Max? Yes, system engineering, exactly. So then Muhammad Osman has another question. Attack potential based, CVSS based, and attack vector based are the three categories for attack feasibility. Which category we have to take and why? Little explanation, please. It depends on your company. It really depends on the corporate architecture. The standard does not tell you. It is actually, it's a great question, Mohammed Usman. Thank you so much for that. So for the rest of it, Muhammad Osman's question is very important. So the ISO 2144 standard does not tell you to which method you should use for attack feasibility rating. There are a couple, and it's in the annex of the standard. It is up to you and your company. CVSS based is a very good one. We use that. Many of our clients use that. So there is no such thing that I can tell you that this is the one. But CVSS one is the one that that we have used. We have also used the attack potential based with the six parameters, time elapsed, expertise, and all those. We have used that. These two are mostly used. Hope that helps, Mohammed Usman. Good question. All right. Next question, please. Rajat, your question with BSW developers. Did that help? Yes, Mohammed Osman, this is true. It's not mentioned in ISO. Shashank, yes, you just said that you would love to get into my courses from YouTube. I would love to see you in my courses. Thank you, thank you. Just I have given the link. I'm gonna give the link one more time in this stream so that sometimes it's going to YouTube, sometimes it's going to LinkedIn. It again went to YouTube. I'm going to give it to LinkedIn one more time here. Yes, I'd love to have you guys in the training. The idea is the training price is going to go up because this is a launch price. As you can see, the prices are ridiculously low right now. It's going to go up significantly, and I do not believe that getting into automotive cybersecurity, there's any better timing for this. So let me tell you why. This is exactly the reason. As you can see, where the steepest part, I mean, it's going to continue to grow to 2030, but now it's really the peak of the demand. It's really growing up, and there's no way to meet the pace of the industry growth because we don't really have that many experts. Automotive in general is suffering from a lot of layoffs, but not the cybersecurity people. It's still we don't find cybersecurity experts, although there are like 7,000 layoffs, 10,000 layoffs. So that's the reason this is the time. So I highly recommend get into it. I would love to have you guys in the training. So the idea is, do it now. So I have one last message for you, unless you have more questions. I mean, I'm open-ended with the questions. As long as you will have questions, I'll be here with you. So why it's important to act now? So one of my very favorite author, Yuval Noah Harari, uh, has mentioned this line in his book, Homo Deus, where he talks about how the future human are going to look like. Um, we're usually afraid of changes. A lot of changes taking place. AI and cybersecurity, the whole landscape, electrification, Chinese vehicle entering our market in Europe and North America. What's going to be the future? So changes are always scary because we fear the unknown. But the single greatest constant in the history of mankind, be it past, be it future, is change. So change is going to happen no matter if you like it or not. AI has happened. It has impacted us, believe it or not. Everything is much different than it used to be, and it is going to be more and more different. Cybersecurity has to be in place because uh, we will be going autonomous. We will be going connected. And there will be always bad guys, doing attacks. The geopolitical situation makes it even more important today. So cybersecurity is going to be there. Everything's going to be the only thing that has changed. So make a change in your life. Quick decision makers are the winners. So make a quick decision. And I don't have to tell you about the price. Our team will anytime decide, okay, we had enough promotional offer. The quota for promotional offer is done. Our marketing team is going to increase the price. So don't wait for that. Now's the time. Embrace the change and let's make autonomous vehicles safe and secure together. That's my message to you. So again, this is my contact details. You can take a screenshot of that. Here is my LinkedIn link, and I'm open for questions as long as you have them. So let me check in YouTube. Shashank already decided to enroll. I'm super excited to have you, Shashank. So, any other questions? As I said, as long as you guys will have questions, I will be more than happy to entertain them. It seems like you guys don't have any questions anymore. Just to tell you that I'm going to, do LinkedIn Live from now on very often, and I'm hopefully my next LinkedIn Live uh, will be smoother than today. This was my first LinkedIn Live ever, and I'll have to research a little bit if I can share my screen because that was the plan. Didn't know that screen sharing is not possible because I like scribbling things out while I talk. Nevertheless, you guys were super, super stimulating. Thank you so much for your questions. I love the drive. You made the first move. You have the fact that you're here in this webinar tells you that you made the right move. Let's make cybersecurity, automotive cybersecurity together. So there's one question for Max. Perhaps the YouTube link is missing. The YouTube link. Let me give you the YouTube link of our channel. So I will give you the YouTube link here. There you go. There is a question from YouTube I can see. Oh, there's a question from Trial by Wire. Trial by Wire is asking, I've been a mechanic for over a decade and I'm now transitioning to automotive security. Is this good for me? 100%. If you were a mechanic, I'm assuming that you know the automotive CAN bus, OBD 2 port, you know how to, probably even tune an ECU, trial by wire. I think I've also seen your YouTube channel. So tell me a little bit about your background because this is super exciting question. So tell me a little bit about your background trial by wire so that okay, I think the yeah now you got it. Okay, I reposted the master link. Yeah, yeah. So you now you have the YouTube link. Sorry for that. So trial by wire, I want to hear more about your background. So I think I'm super excited out because you know here this training, the pen testing training, trial by wire. Yes, this is gonna be you're gonna love this training. And what I want you to do is go in advanced penetration testing training, which actually we haven't included in this program because we have reverse engineering training and stuff. I'm actually building a team in my company for ACU reverse engineering. Because that's a big deal. If you can reverse engineer, you can find out vulnerabilities. It should not be reverse engineerable. So you are perfect. You start from the beginning, you go in the direction of pen testing, and you will rock it trial by wire. It's a it's an amazing. I mean, I would love to have a person like you in my training. This is amazing. All right. Any other question? Let me see in YouTube. There is actually a lag between YouTube, between uh, LinkedIn, and the tool that I'm using. All right. Here's a question from Sriram. I'm not from coding background. Which of these training might be the most suitable for me? Great question, Sriram. So if you're not from the coding background, the first training and the ISO 2144 training, or even the cybersecurity for embedded software training does not require any coding. I would recommend you these three. So the first training is a must. Then you do the ISO 21434 training, no coding involved, and you understand the architecture, no coding involved. I recommend you these three trainings initially. Then you will know, I know what's next. These three trainings itself will going to give you so much of a tools in your arsenal that you will be advancing your career in an amazing way, Sriram. Yes, or trial by wire. I love that. This is perfect for you. You start with the intro, and then you move on to the pen test. That's what you got to do. And again, about the, I mean, I want to emphasize about the price. Usually, in Germany, the price per day per person is 500 euros. That means for an 8 hours training, the average, actually, this is the minimal in the industry is 500 euro per day. We are charging 200 euro per day per training right now as a promotional offer. So it was definitely going to change. So please take the advantage of the promotional offer that we're making. And yeah, uh, that is something I want to emphasize time and time again. Great. Now, any other question? It seems like you have no more questions. If you don't have any question, I have a question for you. From today's webinar, I want you to use one sentence and tell me, what are you taking home? Just one sentence. You're taking home this, that, and the other. That's one. And in the next series of our webinar, what would you like to see? So, two sentences from all of you to help me out, to prepare well and give you more value in the next webinar that will be probably next week. So, please, two sentences from all of you. Those of you who are still live, I really appreciate you being with me. So, please give me some of those feedback so that I can take this feedback with me. So the first question is one sentence, what are you taking home? Second is, what would you like to see in the next webinar? In the chat, please. I would really appreciate this feedback. I can see there's still some people, uh, yeah, I can see Sriram have already said future of cybersec. You would like to see future of cybersec. All right. Thank you, Sriram. And what are you taking home? Okay, Max. Max, you said takeaway, widen horizon on possibilities, options. That's your takeaway. Speed on taking home importance of cybersec. Got it. I'm switching between YouTube and LinkedIn because the tool is too slow. I can see your comments much faster if I switch between uh, LinkedIn and uh, and YouTube instead of staying with my streaming tool. So Sriram, good point on future on cybersec. You know, I'll definitely gonna put something about future on cybersec. I'm very passionate with quantum cryptography right now, post quantum cryptography, and I do want to come up with some content regarding that. So your um, your your suggestion, future of cybersec, kind of like inspires me even more to talk about that. So good point. Now, Max has written next time more insights on future development of cybersecurity industry, including automotive. Fantastic. That goes in line with what also Sriram suggested in YouTube. Fantastic. We're gonna definitely have a look at that. Um, what do you guys think of an episode on post quantum cryptography? Would that interest you? Say yes or no in the chat. Sriram says yes. All right. I think more or less, yes, true. A lot of OEMs and tier ones are preparing for post quantum cryptography. You're right, by Benz and Daimler, and many other companies of our clients. So it's an important thing, you know. So they're preparing for what they're going to do the day uh, we have quantum computers commoditized. All right, so I'm going to wrap things up. Here is one comment by Harini. Hi, sir. Working on automotive manufacturing cybersecurity. There is little to no information on that area. Please, uh, could you please throw some light on that? Great question. Actually, the standard ISO 21424, the standard ISO 21424, Harini, is also talking about production, but not manufacturing. There are other standards for that. So it's a typical manufacturing standard, right? What are all the securities that you will have to do in regular manufacturing? You'll have to take care of those. Um, Nothing special for automotive. So I think what I would suggest you do is study this material either by our training program or on your own, ISO SE 21444, and your manufacturing knowledge. Manufacturing knowledge is, it is any manufacturing. It's like industrial cybersecurity, right? And see what is the and trying to figure out what is the interface, where is the touch point among these two. And I think you will get a lot of insight if you go through the ISO SE 2154. Does that answer your question, Harini? Okay, I'm going to take one last question, and then we're going to call it a day for today, unless you have more. I mean, it looks like we got all the questions. It's not getting too many questions anymore. So one last question, last call for a question. Uh, so once you ask a last question, we'll take it from there. So seems like there is no last question. Thank you so much. It's been super stimulating. Thank you so much for the stimulating input. Hoping to see you in the training and in the next episode of the LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live. Those of you who have been watching from YouTube and from LinkedIn. Uh, in either case, follow our YouTube or our LinkedIn. So let's be in touch. And amazing evening. Have a good day. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm ending streaming. Bye bye. Have a good day.